Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Today I'm gonna be using some old makeup products, and by old I mean, well, not necessarily products that have gone bad, but just products that I picked from my makeup collection and that I haven't used in a bit. I'm feeling a bit nostalgic. I wanna shop my stash, as some people call it. So we're gonna see some older products that I still believe are top notch. I should probably use more. I should use a lot of products more because I have a lot of products, but I'm starting here right now since the makeup world seemed to have come to an halt during the holidays. Like, January is always a slow month. I don't see anything super exciting, so I just want to get that excitement back from my own collection. Grab a cup of tea, come hang, let's put some makeup on. I want to start with a foundation that I haven't used in a bit, but it was my all-time favorite, and that is the Lisa Eldridge Skin Enhancing Tint. I haven't used this in a bit, even though this is like my third time buying this, because I am a tiny bit afraid that this is what is causing my milia. I am not 100% sure, so this will be like my test if I get milia after this, because I am prone to milia, but right now I feel like I'm doing quite well. I usually get it in my chin area, so if you have any recommendation for products against milia, let me know in the comments. But let's try with this one. But honestly, that is just my experience with the product. I always recommend this as a skin tint. I feel like it makes you look like super filtered and natural, but at the same time your best version of yourself in terms of skin, of course. This doesn't have a high coverage, as you can see, but I prefer low coverage foundations unless I really have a bad day with my acne. But see how perfected my skin seems with this foundation. I haven't used this in a bit, as I mentioned, and seeing it again on my skin makes me love it even more. I just hope this is not the cause for milia, because I also get it while I'm traveling, so like harsh climate changes, because I live basically in the desert, and yeah. So I hope this was just a juxtaposition. I don't know how to pronounce that in English, of like bad factors that have made my skin flare up in those times. I definitely have a lot of foundations now that I really enjoy. So if I can start like chipping away at my stash of foundations before they go bad, that would be great. So this is the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint. As you can see, very delicate but very, very perfecting. I would say this is my number one favorite skin tint, and has been, together with the Maybelline skin tint and the Nabla one. Those are my top 3 foundations. So I want to start with the eyes. Today we're gonna be a bit bougie, and I picked up from my stash this Chanel quad. This is the 226 Tissé Rivoli, and it is a neutral quad, but this quad, I think it's the perfect eyeshadow quad for every day. Let me swatch it for you. I picked this up a few years ago in Italy, because we have Chanel at Sephora in Italy, and I fell in love with the shades, so I got it. And I mean, I still like this a lot, even though I'm not picking it up quite as much as I would like to. So today we're changing that. You have a great array of neutral and more warm leaning shades. Like, there's this one here is definitely warmer, and the other 2 browns are deeper and more cooler toned. And then you have this, I don't think you can see it on my swatches, this one is like a sheeny white that you can use in your inner corner and stuff like that. So I'm gonna pick up a brush. I am gonna start with this shade here, which is the lightest one of the quad. These are all satin shades, there is no matte. I feel like that is a choice that is often made in high-end eyeshadows for some reason. I'm gonna start by building my foundation here. You can see it's very pigmented. And the thing about these satin eyeshadows, especially when they come from high-end brands like Dior, Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, it's usually a type of shimmer that is not super reflective, and that's why you can use it as you would a matte eyeshadow. That is something they actually taught us in makeup school, to use these satin shades, bring an even more filtered look to the eye, but still creating depth, because it still is creating depth, as you can see. I really like this shade. I think that this could be like a one and done shade for me. Look how pretty that is. I love this quad. Honestly, I know not all quads from Chanel are good, but this one I highly recommend. Of course, it's a higher priced quad, and that is not to say that you cannot find a shade like this at a cheaper price. I'm just saying this is good. If you wanna treat yourself, it's a good option. I'm also using this as on my lower lash line. I am more for the one and done looks these days. I'm also gonna go in with the darkest shade, this one here. I'm gonna create some depth at the outer corners. You can see it immediately creates depth, but it doesn't make like a huge mess where it is uncontrollable. You can still build it up and choose where to place your shadow. What do you think about the beauty world as of late? I recently made a video about my disenchantment, me falling out of love with the makeup industry, not necessarily makeup in general. I think we are seeing so much as of late that nothing is exciting anymore. And that is a pity, because I remember when I started enjoying makeup, every new release was something that excited me and I looked forward to, but it was something like every few other months and not 1,000 makeup products being released every month. That is really overwhelming. I'm gonna use this shade here. Oh, they actually have names, but it's just shades. Like, we have light, medium, medium, dark. So I'm gonna use one of the mediums, this one. I'm gonna use it all over my lid, so it's gonna get a bit smoky. Cannot expect these quads to have like the same level of sparkle we are seeing nowadays with like Makeup by Mario and Korean eyeshadows. They tend to be more on the sophisticated sparkle, so while there is some gold flecks in this shade, it's very subtle. I would say this is the most cooler toned shade of the quad, actually, even more so than the darkest shade. To complete the look, I'm gonna pick up the lightest shade and I'm gonna use it as an inner corner highlight. Here, of course, it's not gonna be super noticeable, it's just... I'm also gonna use it a touch here under the eyebrow to lighten up. This is a very subtle shade. Like, I don't think you can even see if I am applying anything, but like in real life I can see there's a sheen which leans more on the golden side, but it's very, very subtle. Like, I can see it in the mirror and I would probably see it more under a specific light, but not in camera probably. To line my eyes, I'm actually gonna use a product that is actually pretty new, but I've been really liking it lately. And this is actually a combo. They sell this in a duo, and this is the Nabla set, which includes the True Signature waterproof eyeliner and the Beyond Bold mascara. These are both in the shade Deep Brown. First of all, the shade. I think that the shade is very nice, but it doesn't, like, sometimes it comes out being a bit too sheer. And when I go over and try to... Oh, I have a cat hair somewhere. It's making me crazy. When I try to go back in to give that color back, I feel like it gets deeper and thus it doesn't look like a brown anymore. It just looks like a bit of a desaturated black. Like here, I need to go back to the roots to fill them in, and here in the other corner, and immediately it gets deeper. Now keep in mind that this does look black because it is against the other browns from the Chanel palette, which means these are like softer browns and it looks black in comparison, but normally it does look like a brown. I really love the applicator, how fine that is. Very fine, very easy to control. I'm using this basically every day, but I haven't shown it on camera yet. Why do I insist on talking when I'm doing my eyeliner? I cannot do that. I want to use a liner in the waterline as well. This is a Sephora lip liner in the shade Molasses, but it's a pencil, so I can use it as an eyeliner. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the mascara. This I also really like. It's huge though, and the one is just as huge. It looks like a weapon, quite literally. But I really like the fact that it has this ball at the end because it makes it easier to reach the lashes in the inner corner. So that is my eye look. For my blush, I have picked out 2 options, and these are both from the brand Phytosurgeons. I have a lot of their blushes. So I got Steam, which is a faded rose shade. They all look very deep and intimidating in the packaging, but then when you swatch them out, they are definitely more approachable. So this is Steam. And I also picked out Simmer, which is a more brighter and warmer pink. You can see them compared. I think I'm actually gonna do a mix of the 2. Because I want the brightness of Simmer and the undertone of Steam. So I'm gonna pick them up with a brush. These are very pigmented, so I'm gonna use the back of my hand to remove the excess product, and I'm just gonna go. There's still so much product on the brush. I feel like this color, Steam, is great with the eye look. It makes perfect sense. So as you can see, applied on my skin, it looks much less intimidating than in the heavy swatch. But all of the blushes I tried from Phytosurgeons have these like weirdly, not weird, but just undertones that you don't normally find in the regular makeup market, which is what makes these products great for like skin tone, olive skin tone people or really fair skin people. This blush I'm using now has a quite high percentage of like gray, so it is more desaturated, and it has some purple, some brown, so it has like a good amount of shades that I don't normally find in other products at Sephora. I'm gonna adjust the blush, but first I'm gonna dip into Simmer just to make this a bit brighter here on the apple of my cheek. And then with my sponge, I'm gonna clean up underneath because I feel like I have this tendency of going down with the blush, and what it ends up doing is making your face like fall. I don't know, this brings it back up to where it should be. Alright, now that that is done, I'm gonna use my powder. I'm just gonna use my Kosas powder in the candy shade, the pink one, because I really enjoy this powder with a huge puff. I got this in the Catrice Advent Calendar. This powder makes your skin so filtered, like, can you see the before and after? I feel like it's a bit dark today, but it's my usual setup, but maybe the weather outside is a bit grayer, so it looks darker. I'm sorry about that. I also feel like applying powder on top of blush allows you to really blend it in better. Last thing missing is my lip combo. Today I'm gonna be using like a mix of this Wonder Blading lip mask from Wonderskin, and I'm gonna pick one MAC lipstick. I'm gonna apply this as a lip liner. I haven't used this quite in a while, so I hope that the formula is still fine. It isn't the best like applicator for fine work, so let's see what I can do. I feel like this formula always stings a bit to me when I apply it. I don't know what it is. Yeah, as you can see, not the cleanest application because it's too thick. While this dries, I do look kind of crazy. I'm gonna decide between these lipsticks. I have Alone Time and Signature Move. This is Alone Time, which is a bit more on the cooler side. I think these lipsticks went very viral on TikTok. I got these when MAC came out with this like nudes collection, and I have been a fan since. It's just that these don't last anything. So the warmer one is Signature Move. What do you think I should put on? I think I'm gonna put on Alone Time just because my look is a bit more cooler tone leaning. Okay, so I removed the lip stain. As you can see, it left a tiny bit of a lip liner, and I'm gonna apply Alone Time. Oh, it did leave some like blue staining. That's what I hate about that product. Okay, I think I should not be blue anymore, but who knows. So you see Alone Time as a big gray component. I'm wondering if I should mix some Signature Move into it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I think it's a great mix. So that is today's look, entirely made with products shopped from my stash. Nothing really new. I think this Chanel quad is like the highlight of everything. I went for a very smoky look, but I could have gone for something way like more everyday friendly really easily. And yeah, we're done for today. Let me know in the comments which product from your makeup collection you use a lot, even though it's not a new release, it's not something new in the market. I'm always curious to know. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate you taking 1 second of your time to do so. It really helps in a way that you don't even understand. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!